Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready? Hello everybody, it's Jeff. So, hope everybody had a good weekend, Easter weekend, and like I said in the last video, it was a really nice day here yesterday. Today was a nice day too, Monday, and I guess the rest of the week is going to be lots of rain, sleet, snow, and high velocity winds. I guess winter's trying to make a comeback here, I guess. I don't know. It's Maine, people, you know. That's what it is here in this state. So I didn't really know until this morning when I started to read the news a bit. Yesterday there was a lot of bitching going on in the news outlets and stuff about yesterday, which was March 31st, and it's also the Transgender Day of Visibility. It happened to come together on the same day Easter landed this year, okay? And so Biden made a remark about that, you know, in a speech, and it pissed off a lot of Republicans, a lot of the hypocritical religious Republicans, okay? Now, the reason why I say hypocritical is because it's okay for Trump to go around and tout the Bible as something he can make money off of, right? Like, that's not... But this going on here, which wasn't meant to be an insult to Easter, okay? It was just announcing that today was Transgender Day of Visibility, okay? And if you believe in the Christian Bible, okay, then you know that all are loved equally in God's eyes, right? So why the hell should they get pissed about that? You know, I don't know. But anyway, let me read this article here from CNN. This was written and published yesterday morning at about 10 in the morning. Republicans slam Biden for proclaiming Transgender Day of Visibility on Easter, though it's yearly observed on March 31st. Republicans are taking aim at President Biden for proclaiming Easter Sunday as the Transgender Day of Visibility, though the 2 days are coincided this year by chance. The Transgender Day of Visibility, which was started in '09 as a day of awareness to celebrate the successes of transgender and gender non-conforming people, is held annually on March the 31st. The date of Easter, meanwhile, changes from year to year. But several Republicans seized on Biden's proclamation to attack the president, of course. Quote, "It is appalling and insulting that Joe Biden's White House formally proclaimed Easter Sunday as Trans Day of Visibility," unquote, former President Donald Trump's campaign said in a statement. House Speaker Mike Johnson said the Biden administration had, quote, "betrayed the central tenet of Easter," unquote, in a post on X. "The American people are taking note." White House spokesperson Andrew Bates said in a statement Saturday, quote, "As a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding the dignity and freedoms of every American," unquote. Quote, "Sadly, it's unsurprising politicians are seeking to divide and weaken our country with cruel, hateful, and dishonest rhetoric. President Biden will never abuse his faith or political purposes or for profit, unquote, Bates said. Hint, hint, Trump. In this year's presidential proclamation, Biden said the Transgender Day of Visibility honors the extraordinary courage and contributions of transgender Americans. Quote, transgender Americans are part of the fabric of our nation, unquote. The proclamation said, adding that they, quote, deserve and are entitled to the same rights and freedoms as every other American, including the most fundamental freedom to be their true selves, unquote. While touting his administration's work to advance transgender rights, such as lifting the transgender military ban, the president slammed Republican-led efforts to curb protections for trans Americans, describing them as, quote, bullying and discrimination, unquote. Responding to Johnson's statement on X that holding the Transgender Day of Visibility on Easter is, quote unquote, abhorrent, Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia said Sunday, quote, apparently the speaker finds trans people abhorrent, and I think he ought to think about that, unquote. Warnock, the senior pastor of Atlanta's Ebenezer Baptist Church, told CNN's Dana Bash on State of the Union that the Republican response marks just one more instance of folks who do not know how to lead us, trying to divide us. Quote, this is the opposite of the Christian faith, unquote. Warnock continued, quote, in a moment like this, we need voices, particularly voices of faith, who would use our faith not as a weapon to beat other people down, but as a bridge to bring all of us together, unquote. Biden issued the first ever presidential proclamation of its kind in recognition of the Transgender Day of Visibility in 2021 and has since issued a proclamation every year. The national debate over transgender rights has grown increasingly contentious, with Republican lawmakers at the state and federal level calling for a range of stringent laws, including restrictions on gender-affirming care for minors and excluding trans women from competing in sports teams that align with their gender identity. Trump, the presumptive GOP nominee, has made the issue a talking point, promising to, quote, ban men from participating in women's sports, unquote. Several states have already moved to enact such a ban, expanding on other anti-LGBTQ efforts. Some Republicans, including Johnson and Trump, also claim that Biden banned religious-themed designs at the White House's Easter events. The American Egg Board, which partners with the White House on Easter events, said the procedures in place this year haven't changed. Quote, the American Egg Board has been a supporter of the White House Easter egg roll for over 45 years, and the guideline language referenced in recent news reports has consistently applied to the board since its founding across administrations, unquote. Emily Metz, president and CEO of the American Egg Board, said in a statement. Metz said the board is required to, quote, operate within federal guidelines for all of its activities, unquote, and that it is, quote, prohibited from discriminating in all programming and activities on the basis of religion, political beliefs, and all other stated categories, unquote. Elizabeth Alexander, a spokesperson for First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, cast the Republican egg complaints as, quote, misleading swirl, unquote, and posted on X, quote, the American Egg Board flyers standard non-discrimination language requesting artwork has been used for the last 45 years across all Democratic and Republican administrations. Okay, so, I just out of curiosity, because, we have to be, I guess Americans have to be reminded about our holidays here, and Easter being the topic here. Easter is not set on a specific day. It's set at a specific time of the year, okay? And it's not on a day on a calendar, that it's the same day on the calendar every year, okay? So I checked next year's Easter. Guess what day it lands on next year? April the 20th. Guess whose birthday is on April the 20th? Adolf Hitler. Are these people going to turn around and blame Biden for that too? I mean, come on. This is, the problem here isn't the fact that Biden said something. It's the fact is that the church has not set this on a specific day, Okay, so it doesn't land on some other day that people don't like. Okay, if they want to bitch, take that energy they got at attacking Biden for something he had no control over and direct it to the Pope. Okay, go to the Pope or some and tell the Christian leaders they need to sit down, put their heads together, and pick a fucking day on the calendar that doesn't fall on anybody else's days, okay, or has any negativity surrounding it to put Easter on. You know, to me that would be the solution here, not to just take this as an opportunity to score political points with your voter base, okay, by trying to sling mud because you figure your voter base will never bother to check on the facts about, you know, because they're trying to say that Biden picked this day, picked yesterday as the day to do this, okay? No, he didn't pick it. That was always March 31st. He was just letting people know that today is also not just Easter, but the Transgender Day of Visibility. Same day, same two things, okay? It just happened to land that way this year, but next year it's going to be a different day for Easter, okay? And so, like I said, that's the way Easter's always been. It doesn't always fall on the same day of the calendar, okay? I think, like I said, it's so easy to these people to be misled by political propaganda. Too easy, if you ask me. Much too easy. That these people who consider themselves American couldn't see through it, or catch themselves. I wonder if anybody's even brought it up to them yet that, hey, you guys you're bitching about this, but it's really the other way around. Biden wasn't declaring that day. That day was already declared years ago, okay? It's always been March 31st. It just so happened that Easter, which is a holiday that floats on the calendar, it doesn't have a set day, okay? It just happened to land on that specific day this year, okay? Next year it'll land on Hitler's birthday. I doubt we'll probably hear much said about that, okay? But it was an opportunity because this is an election year. Remember I was telling you about how things are going to get nastier as we get closer to November? Well, here's another example of that, okay? They decided they were going to do it this year to try to score. This is how they think, people, okay? Their ideas to try to win popularity aren't always about uniting the country. It's always about finding ways to stick a fucking knife into you or a shiv in you somehow and divide the country. That's their only focus. That's how they deal with things on that side of the political aisle, okay? Do they come up with ideas that help the poor? Do they come up with ideas that better people's lives? Very rarely. They try to sell you on things they want to do as something that's going to better this country, but until you sit down and you look at their plan and you figure out what chain of events it will create, okay, you're not really going to know. You're just going to take their bumper sticker slogan that they throw around and call that as fact. But underneath that bumper sticker is a whole lot of shit they're covering up. Okay, they're not going to be upfront with you about everything, okay? And they can say the same thing, about Democrats all they want, but at least the Democrats usually get what they want when they vote because they know what they're getting when they vote on it, okay? But you can't really say that with Republicans. You always got to get somebody to dig into the facts, to dig into what they're doing, to find out how this benefits them. If they're for something, you got to be scared. Okay, if they want something, there's something in it for them, and it's usually not going to be good for us. Okay, that's why the last few months they've been trying to tie every problem in this country to the border issue. Okay, like the border issue is the reason all things are happening in this country that's bad. Okay, which is total bullshit. Okay, lately they've been trying to say that the crime rate has gone through the roof because of immigrants. Well, the fact is, immigrants are the least percentage of people that commit the crimes in this country. It's Americans that commit more of the crimes, okay? Immigrants have no reason to come over here and cause trouble, okay? Because they want to stay here. Why should they stick their necks out to get caught? You see what I'm saying? Would you want to go, and look, let me tell you something. You get on an airplane, go to a foreign country, okay? You go over there. Are you thinking about trying to commit crimes while you're over there? Or are you just going to be there to try to, enjoy while you're there? You know, these people don't come into this country just so they've got plans on breaking the law and stuff like that. That's not true. Okay, you look at the majority of the crimes that happen in America, and it's not done by immigrants. Okay, they're done by American citizens. And the fact is, the crime rate in this country has actually gone down some. Okay, we still have homicides that happen. Okay, school shootings. Okay, but overall, okay, the level of it has gone down. Okay, now you could say it's because of Biden, or you could say it's because of your governor, your mayor, or whoever cracking down on crime. Whatever. But what the Republicans have been saying doesn't hold water. Basically, crime rate hasn't gone up. It's gone down and stabilized in some parts, but it's going down. And it's not immigrants that are the primary reason for the crimes that we get in this country. It's not. I could promise you everything that I own here, okay, that if you took all immigrants, illegal or otherwise, out of this country, which would mean only the Native Americans would be left, okay, if you took us all out of the country, the crime rate would probably go down because of just the fact that there's fewer of us in this country. But it's got nothing to do with immigrants, all right, the illegal immigrants. So, okay, I mean, that's basically what they're talking about here. They just don't want people, tan skin, coming across the border. That's basically what it is. They wouldn't know, okay, who these people are, or even know if they were American, because they look at everybody. If you're a Latino or a descent or something like that, in their eyes, you're an illegal. You're not supposed to be here. That's how people are in this country. They single you out by how you look. And it's just the lowest. They were getting mad at cops for racial, identification or whatever the hell they used to call it. Remember, they figure, if it's a black guy driving a car, he's done something wrong, so let's go pull him over. You know what I'm saying? They're playing that game. And they used to get mad at cops for doing that, but they're doing it. Okay? The regular people are doing it now. And so, racial profiling, that's the word. Thank you. Whoever you are that said it, that's what I'm thinking. Racial profiling. That's what the Republicans are doing. They're racially profiling people and saying they're illegal. They shouldn't be here. You ask them why. They can't give you an answer. What they're going to do is they're going to give you a fucking thing they heard from Fox News and say, oh, because they commit crimes. Really, this single mother with 2 kids here is going to create a crime. What do you think kind of crime she's going to do? She's here to commit a crime. Do these people really listen to themselves when they say shit like that? I mean, can they tell? And it's sad and bizarre at the same time that people would do something like that. But at the same time, it's not the first time in human history where people have felt uncomfortable about being around people of color. Okay, of any color really. And once they get it into their head that they don't like a certain race of people, they're going to go to their grave with that attitude. Okay, you're never going to drill that out of their head. Okay, and unfortunately, it seems like the problem of this down near the border is really bad, which means the state of Texas and other border states have a big problem with racism down there. Big problem, okay? But it's not news to me because I used to live in the South. I lived in Florida for a few years and I lived in Texas for a few years. The 2 states that's causing this country a lot of grief right now, I was living in those states and I seen firsthand, how easy it is for them to call certain people a racial thing like that down there and nobody cares. At least that's the way it was when I was younger, okay? It doesn't seem like it's improved any in either of those states. All right, especially Florida. But you know, if you're white and you're living in those states, you know, they treat you fine. They're good people when you're white. Okay, they do all kinds of things for you, but don't let them know that you're from Maine, that you're from the north, because then they start calling you Yankee and all this shit. Okay, they start getting all rebel on you. But yeah, this whole thing with pinning all our woes on the border is hogwash. Okay, the President Biden presented a bill that was right up there, right up what the Republicans wants. Okay, had most of what they wanted in it. They wanted that fucking thing to get passed, but guess what? Donald Trump told them no. Do not pass this thing, because I need this issue to run on for president. Because, hey, he ain't got anything else to run on, right? Because everything else about this guy's all negative and frankly, an episode for The Sopranos. You know, the thing is that it's just, he's got nothing. And the Republicans really never have anything, no matter if it's Trump or somebody else. I mean, they never have anything to run on. And once they get into power, and when people believe they're going to fix things, when they get in there and they're president, what happens is some kind of scandal breaks out while they're in there. You know, like Reagan and Iran-Contra. You know, I mean, you had that going on. You know, and you know the shit he was doing to bust up unions and stuff like that. You know, you always have some kind of negative thing going on with the right wing when they're in power. And, you know, it's amazing that, you know, this just keeps happening and Republicans still stay Republican. They keep voting Republican. And it's like, you know, don't you guys see what you guys are doing? You know, you're making things worse. So that way when a Democrat comes in, you know, he's got to fix everything.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me!
This is me.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Ruth McLaughlin, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This
is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
For 4 long years, Donald Trump disgraced America, laughing with mass-murdering dictators, Vladimir Putin's puppet.
You know, the people of Crimea, from what I've heard, would rather be with Russia than where they were.
The world laughed at us.
You know, Hezbollah is very smart. They're all very smart.
No more.
The people of this nation have spoken. At this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed.
Today, America once again leads the free world. A respected leader, steady, determined, who knows America is great because America is good.
We stand with Israel. Today, tomorrow, as we always have.
Under President Biden, our friends are stronger, our enemies weaker.
This is not about party or politics. This is about the security of the United States of America.
A strong economy at home, a respected America abroad. President Joe Biden, an American president.
a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Okay, so, you know, I heard this little kind of story here about how someone describes a Republican and a Democrat, and I thought it was kind of funny, so let me see if I can get it right and share it here. A Republican is like a guy that gets, you know, a new car, okay? He's given a new car. He gets in that car and he drives the shit out of it, okay? He's racing with it, he's jumping it over ramps and everything. Finally, one day, the damn car, he wrecks it, okay? So he leaves the damn car in the ditch, okay? A Democrat comes up, sees that car in a ditch, figures, I'll get a tow truck, take it to a garage, we'll fix it up, get it working again. So he takes it right to the garage, he works on it, gets everything all replaced, repaired. The engine's working great now. Brand new looking. It's all nice paint, repainted and everything. Looks like a brand new car. Well, the Republican comes back, sees the car all sitting in there, and he says, okay, can I have it back with the keys? You know, I mean, that's kind of like what, you know, what it's like, I guess, you know, for a Democrat and Republican. I mean, the Republican takes the country for a ride and wrecks it, and then the Democrat goes in there and fixes it, and then they scream they want the country back because we can, you know, do great things with it. Just like they did the time before when they crashed the economy, right? And they got the balls to say we're economically, fiscally responsible. That's what they say. We're fiscal conservatives, we're responsible. And yet, every time they're in power, they wreck the economy. So, they're not that. They're not responsible. They don't know how to govern, okay? They use the power of the White House to bolster and prop up big business in this country, which has been monopolizing the markets here pretty steadily here for, you know, for a few decades now, buying each other out, you know, making fewer choices for the consumer, making it easier for, you know, price gouging, you know, because when everybody's playing on the same game field, right, they're playing the same page in the book here, everybody's prices are going to be just very close to each other, but there's not actually going to be anybody who's going to have bargains, okay? And if there's anybody out there that does that, you know, they don't last because they get bought out or some damn thing happens and they're gone, you know? So what you end up with is just like, you know, 4 or 5 corporations, you know, and people have to choose out of those 4 or 5 people, those companies, which one of you do you want to get screwed in the butt with? Because they're all doing the same thing. They're all price gouging you. I mean, it doesn't work if, you know, people are trying to make profit and you got one person that's offering discounts, okay? But if you can tell them to stop doing the discounts and everybody on the same playing field, then nobody gets a break. They have to buy from you, right? Because that's all they got. If there's only one cable company out there, hey, if they're going to charge you $100 a month to watch TV, guess what? You're going to pay it, whether you like it or not, because there's nobody else out there that'll offer it for less. Well, they managed to skip over that, buying each other out till the one last standing, right? So what they've done is they colluded with each other, and now they're all working together to do the same damn thing. They're all charging basically the same price for things, and, you know, you're not going to get much of a discount anywhere. Okay, and so, you know, this is the way it is now, and that's what usually that happens when you get Republicans in power, where they cut laws and they make it easier for business to do what they want in this country here. And you know, speaking of business, and I know this is kind of going from, you know, to a different shifting gears here, but Burger King, okay, Burger King of all places. There's Burger King and Brewer, and that Burger King over there is sadly understaffed. It really is. It's really understaffed, and I don't know why it's that way, because they get a lot of business there during the day. They do. It's a busy little restaurant there during the day. When you go over there, because there's a bowling alley right next to it, and that bowling alley is busy. Okay, and people at the bowling alley like to go eat at the restaurant. Okay, sometimes they won't let you in to the restaurant because the dining area gets so dirty, they ain't got enough people in there to keep up with cleaning it. So they just shut the door so nobody can go in there and eat. So you have to drive to the drive-through window. They may have about 3 or 4 people in there working in the kitchen, and the line to get food at the drive-through goes all the way around the building and all the way up to where you drive on to the street. It starts there. Okay, some people won't wait; they just drive away because, hey, you're burning gas. You're sitting there for, you know, a good 20 minutes or more, just waiting. And sometimes these people are very slow getting the order out to people waiting in the front. Because what if somebody up front's got, you know, they want to have more than 2 or 3 sandwiches or something? You know, I mean, they got a family of 4. You know, you're looking at a long wait there. So a lot of people, I don't know why they bother, but they still go over there to try to get something to eat, and you know, a lot of times they just can't get in there and get anything to eat. I can't tell you how bizarre that is, because that's something that normally would not happen. Okay, I've never seen a line to that degree go that far out, right onto the main highway, where people are just lined up from there, and you know, it's like Jesus. And the reason being is because they have coupons at Burger King. I mean, McDonald's doesn't do it, but you know, Burger King puts coupons in the flyers here, you know, every month or so, and you get some pretty good deals on food there. So that's another reason why a lot of people go there. But they don't have enough people working in there, and it's all because they want to make the money, but they don't want to give any out to get that money. You know, they don't want to hire anybody. You know, and that's kind of an example of what's happening in a lot of places in America right now, is that we're hiring in the windows, but they're not hiring. Okay, they're not hiring, even though it says, you know, when you walk in there, you know, we're offering this much an hour. We're hiring. I can't think that nobody, you know, is, you know, especially where, you know, I mean, because most of the people that get hired to work at Burger King are just young people, you know, college students or stuff. They should have ample staff there right now. Well, they don't, see. And I can't really comprehend how they figure they can keep running that restaurant at a profit while so many people walk away because they can't wait, you know, for 25, 30 minutes for an order. You know, nobody wants to sit in their vehicle running their engine for a half an hour, burning that much gas just to get food, okay? And if they can't go inside to get it from, you know, then they're just going to back out and drive the hell to some other place, you know? So how the hell does that help the business any? You know, I wish somebody could help me understand that, because to me, that seems like terrible management on the part of whoever runs that place there. And that's just that one Burger King down there, okay? I mean, I'm not going to say that's happening in every Burger King. It's just that one there in Brewer. It needs to be it needs to change there. I mean, they really need to hire some better staff or more staff, and they need to keep that running, you know, with decent amount of hands on deck, you know, because, hey, you know, we all know when the rush hour is for food, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Okay, and they got to have people there ready to accommodate those numbers when they show up, you know. But like I said, with all the help wanted signs, you think that shouldn't be a problem anymore, right? But you know, it still feels like the pandemic days in some parts, you know, of the town and stuff like that, because it really was at that point when that shit started, was that way, and it hasn't changed since. I mean, it's still the same, you know, feeling like, you know, we don't want you inside, we don't want you around us or stuff. You know, it still feels like we're living the pandemic days in some parts of America because of that, you know, and it hasn't changed. McDonald's has never recovered here from the pandemic. They have less on the menu than they ever did. They're charging a whole lot more money for, I mean, $5 for a box of fucking fries. I mean, give me a break. And that's like, you know, you used to get a whole meal for $5 from McDonald's, but now all you're going to get is fries for $5. You know, screw yourself. You know, your fries ain't that good, okay? On the other hand, there's Wendy's, and they're doing all kinds, they're making all kinds of money there. They got a nice menu, you know, and everything, and they got everything there. You know, so why is it they can succeed and McDonald's and Burger King struggles? You know, I don't know. To me, it seems like, you know, if they're not really trying to make money, then they're not gonna make money, and they're gonna lose their business. And frankly, right now, I don't know what kind of future either of those places are gonna have. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that they're closing all their restaurants and shit like that, you know. Who knows? So anyway, I just wanted to talk about yesterday's debacle there with this you know, transgender day of visibility. Really was kind of hypocritical, because like I said, it was just, you know, it's like, well, if you guys are having a problem with that, then how come you guys aren't bitching about Donald Trump going around with the Bible in his hand? I mean, you Christians are, you can't be consistent, can you? You never can be consistent. It's always got to be a political thing with you people. You use your religion as a weapon, okay, for your political purposes. But it doesn't work when you see the other side of the coin, does it? Because when one of your own does something stupid, you know, in a religious manner, you guys are tight-lipped about it. You don't say a fucking word. But, you know, the other person says something that has maybe a hint of something you don't like in it, okay, and you can somehow connect that to some kind of religious persecution. Oh, you're out there with all your religious fervor, you know, your self-righteousness. It shines through like fucking the sunlight, you know. You people are so hypocritical, you don't even see it, you know. You ought to try looking at yourself on the outside once in a while. It might embarrass the shit out of you. All right, so anyway, that's it for today. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week. And subscribe, comment, and treat each other nice out there. You know, good karma comes around, and it's a nice thing when it does. I'll take care, buddy.